So this is demo one. We're just going to go over the first EX1 example in PHP. I have it loaded here in VS Code, which is not a bad editor in that I did add a PHP extension pack and put a little bit of PHP on my machine just to demo some stuff. But I guess what to focus on here is that don't mind this stuff down below, but when you look at this section here, up to about here, I mean, that is just stock HTML. And that's the concept, but it says it's a .php file, right? And that's the idea with a certain style of these server-side web pages, is that there's this mix of HTML and some type of programming language. If we're talking, like I said, Python server pages, Java server pages, Java server faces, ASP, ASP.NET. All that usually changes with those technologies is the language and that. And so here is just stock HTML. You can see how we're putting in some different metadata tags about encoding and what the default language is and what type of document is, stock HTML. We have some links in here to Bootstrap in that for the Cascading Style Sheet and their JavaScript, stock standard stuff. This is what's going to show up in the tab of the browser and that. Fave icon as well and that. So, and then we get to the body tag, right? And we see a standard header tag and a paragraph tag. But then this is new, right? So is this angle bracket question mark PHP a standard HTML tag? No, absolutely not. But it's a special marker, and all these server-sided architectures have some type of character sequence to say, hey, we're flipping from HTML land to code land, right? So Java does this, VB.NET C# does this. When we're talking about these, there's some set of characters, and they're slightly different in each one, that says, okay, boom, we're in code land now. So this means we're in code land. So, pound is comments. That doesn't happen in HTML and that sort of thing. And even the double // that is not, I guess, standard HTML comments. Now, when we use the script tag in HTML, right, then the language there is JavaScript. Here it's back on the server side, it can be PHP in that. And so then we see new things like echo. Like where would you find an echo in HTML? It's not part of the HTML spec. It's not part of JavaScript. JavaScript's got document.write, and they've got maybe console.log, that sort of thing. So this is definitely, okay, this is different because there's no such thing called echo in HTML5 land and JavaScript and Cascading Sheet lands. So we're definitely in a different zone right now. Okay. So what happens is this, whatever gets printed or echoed out gets added to your HTML document, and that as part of a bundle that's going to be set to the browser. And so, /n is a stock, Linux line feed type of stuff. But notice that there's some text with some, BR tags. So within PHP, if you're going to echo out HTML, then you do have to still know something about HTML. That's why in a lot of these, web-based enterprise apps, one language does not suffice. You need to know typically, and if Cascading Style Sheets, it may not be a programming language, but it's definitely a style language. So you need to know CSS, JavaScript for the front end, HTML, that's at 3, and at the back end server-side scripting language, where that might be, we're up to 4. So with just, to have one app, 4 languages that you have to be aware of, right? If I wasn't aware of HTML as a PHP programmer, then I would understand that, well, what a BR tag is and that, or paragraph tag or H1 tag or table tags. So you still have to have 2 languages in your head when you're doing this in that. So I see some other statements as well. Now the thing is, to really see how this is going to work, you need to test it on a web browser. But I'll just show you. This kind of demystifies a little bit. The PHP interpreter, kind of behaves like the Python interpreter, that it reads through your text file and execute a bunch of commands. So what if I ran this through the PHP interpreter. So this is me where I install PHP and say, hey, PHP, run this file through there. So I'm going to do that. Hey, look at that. Right? So this is what the PHP program does, is that it takes what was above and just turns it into 100%. I'm not going to say HTML, it's going to turn it into 100% text, right? You could have a PHP script, right, that sent no HTML and instead you decide to send like JSON to the browser or something like that. You could do that and that sort of thing. Because so we can see this is the HTML that's going to be sent, right? And we can see that it's kind of messy looking, which is good in that. But to see what it's really going to look like in a browser, I'll slide the browser across. There we go. Is that same HTML, right, is going to be displayed as HTML by the browser. But this is what's really happening in the background on the server, right? So on the server side, a very similar process is going on. It's reading through this file and is translating all of the HTML part, just reading it in and writing it out right away. And then it's got to go through the code to see what the code does. And here, nothing too complicated, but just a bunch of echo statements that adds more HTML to the mix. And then the whole thing is bundled up, like the text we see on the bottom screen here is bundled up and shot to the browser. And then once it's shot to the browser, I've lost my mouse here, and that there we go. The browser makes this mess that we see down below at the console window look like this. Okay, that's it for this demo.